morning. Welcome to Coffee and Tarot Time. Happy Tuesday. Week's going to just be plugging along. I have to get plugging along. I have a kitchen remodel and I have to empty everything. I just said to the contractor, he was here. I looked at him, I go, everything, right? And he goes, yeah, everything. So I'm trying to do it in pieces, little sections here and there. All right, using my Barbara Moore deck, let's just see what we draw for general. Let's see. Six of Pentacles. Look at it ringing in my ear. Someone's probably talking about me. Did you ever hear that? Usually if it's a ringing in your ear, they say someone's talking. I don't know if it's good or bad. Who cares? Who gives a shit, really? Six of Pentacles. Giving, overgiving, and receiving. So when I see the Six of Pentacles, I always take it as a situation where the person watching this video was an overgiver, okay? And you know what sucks about that is 99% of the time, the person receiving knows, and they don't do anything about it. And that speaks to their character, not yours, not the overgivers, because you're an overgiver. That shows kind compassion. Or does it? Or does it? Let's look at it from this angle. Is it a manipulating thing? Are you overgiving? So maybe somebody keeps a relationship, you don't lose something, where you're attaching this kind of invisible string to. So that's something you have to think about too. Or is it just your nature? Because there's a lot of people out there that they just like to give. And it for whatever reason, I'm not a psychologist, but for whatever reason, they definitely like to do it, give something for themselves. And then, you know, there's people that have no motivation whatsoever. So it's like the people who give enormous amounts of money for charities and they go anonymous. They don't want the recognition. I'm sure there's tons of, you know, rich people out there who do that. They don't want the notoriety. They just want to help the cause. And they're like, you know, here's $1 billion. Here's $1 billion and go fix your problem. But usually the Six of Pentacles to me, when I pull it, usually tells me that who's ever watching this video, the tables are going to turn. So if you felt like you were on the wrong side of the overgiving, like the one who's always overgiving, you're going to see very soon that the tables are going to turn. Now, how do the tables turn, you say? How, Queen? Tell us how they turn. When you stop overgiving, when you stop giving, then they're going to be like, hey, wait, what? What happened? You know, like when you stop being a constant in somebody's life, because you can only drain yourself so much to the point where you're going to need something put back in. And that's what always makes a good, positive relationship. And I'm not just talking about love. I'm talking about friendships, family, work, whatever it is, you know. And most days it's not going to be 50-50. Let's just admit it. You know, we're adults here. It's not going to be 50-50. But for the most part, there's got to be some give and takes, you know. Like if somebody's in a situation where they need more of you and they can't give to you, then you have to know that eventually down the road, maybe the tables will turn around. So I like the Six of Pentacles because it tells me that what you've been doing is not going in vain. So whoever you've been overgiving to or keeping the situation afloat, let's call it that, you're going to see an enormous shift, okay? You're going to see an enormous shift in the relationship where things start going in your favor, okay? And you're not going to feel that pressure to overgive, you know, because at some point you have to say to yourself, look, and like say, pick a friendship, you know, pick two females, two males, whatever, pick a regular friendship. And you say the person, you're always making plans with this person. and they're never reciprocating. They don't tell you no when you make the plans, but you're always like, oh, how about next Thursday? Okay, I'm free. Well, I'll go and I'll make reservations and so on and so forth. But they never pick up the phone and they never make plans. Okay. Which would be nice if they picked up the phone and said to you, hey, how about next Thursday? What about this place? I'll make reservations. So I think that's about to change for someone out there. I think you're going to notice that you're going to be acknowledged for everything you've been doing. Okay. Now, I get the King of Wands, and I love this king for various reasons because he matches me as a Queen of Wands. But if you look at him, let's talk about body language for a second. If you look at him, he's got his hand on his knee. So that means he's getting ready to stand up. So if you've been in the middle of waiting for someone to, AKA, do the right thing or take a move or whatever, they're about to take a move. Something's about to shift in your energy. Now, it doesn't always have to be love, like I always say. It could be job, it could be anything. You know, we're all not on the same path here. We're all not looking for Billy Bob to come back. Poor Billy Bob. So we like this because it tells us that when this is cut off, or you just realize and you take 2 steps back and you realize, you know what, if I'm going to fill a vessel, it probably should be mine. This person has an awakening. Okay. So a person, or it could be a situation, has an awakening. So I like these cards. I mean, it shows that there's growth, you know, and that's what we're all here for, is to grow. And I'd like to think that, you know, none of us make the same mistake twice, but, you know, that's not the case. Sometimes we have to, sometimes we're hard learners. You know, it takes a few times before we actually learn the situation. And I've attached another little graphic thing here. I'm doing this. There's a method to my madness why I'm doing it. I am asking for questions, and then I'll make videos answering the questions, like everyday questions, but it's not tarot reading. It's more coming from remember Ann Landers? She used to give advice all the time. It's coming from that kind of thing. And there's a reason I'm doing it. So if you want to participate and ask like a normal question of what's going on in your life and see what the Queen has to say, I appreciate it. I'm in my kitchen. I don't know, between my daughter and Luna, I feel like I've been inched out of my study downstairs because my daughter moved back. She took downstairs, which is fine. I have a very big, like the whole side of one of my house is finished. So she has her little bedroom, her little living room, her bathroom, her own exit, which is nice. But that's where I did my readings. And I was spread out. It was nice. And then I have another room that's like Luna's robotic litter box. That's enormous. And I had put like a whole bunch of shelves for all my storage. It was so neat and organized. And then I had to take my desk where I do my readings and all my lighting out of there and put it in this little room. It was doable, but the more I'm redoing my kitchen, I had to move stuff around. Oh, you just get it. So I said, you know what, let me just sit in my kitchen, and that's where I am. And it's working for now. Don't mind my walls. We're getting painted. I don't know what color we're painting. I got to wait till the kitchen's in and the flooring though. But I said to myself yesterday, because I started getting things ready, I said, God willing, this kitchen's got to last me till either I move or the day I close my eyes, because I'm never doing it again. Never, ever. All right, everyone. Remember, I'm going to attach a video to this, or it's not a video, it's a graphic with information. It's coffee and tarot time. I am the Queen of Wands. Everyone, have a great day.